The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. Reaper Apparel offers a casual line of superb fit, finish, and comfort. We design for those who refuse to die slowly and choose to live untamed. For those who aren't afraid to face the dark, for the ones that thrive in it, and for those who can appreciate life through a grim lens. That's Reaper Apparel Company. Go to the link in the description of this episode, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my own personal merch store, the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. I have hats, I have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, water bottles, notebooks, you name it, I've got it. The description and the link for that will be in the description of this episode. Also, right now, if you use the promo code WELCOME, I will give you 5% off of your first purchase. That's the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Tactical Brotherhood, all American-made apparel, which helps support the Second Amendment. You can also find all this in the description of this episode with the link, Tactical Brotherhood. Part of every proceed does go to helping veterans, as it is a very good cause. All American-made products made right here in Minnesota. Go and check them out. Use the promo code PATRIOT15 to get 15% off your purchase. Now, let's start the show. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I got a great episode for us today. I have a fellow podcaster on the show today. He's coming to us from Ohio. I believe he's in Ohio, and I was originally from South Carolina. Edwin Vereen joins the show. Edwin, thanks for joining, brother.
Mike, what's going on, man? Finally, after 11,000 attempts, we got it to go.
We've been trying to schedule this in for a hot second, absolutely. But we're busy men. We got it.
We're busy men. We got stuff to do. We got things to do. You know, sometimes we can make it happen. Sometimes we can't. But we're here today. Damn it, we're here. We're making it happen today.
Absolutely. So, first and foremost, like I said, I believe you're from South Carolina. Is that where you're from originally? Where did you grow up? And kind of where you're from, and tell people a little bit about yourself.
I am 40 years old. My birthday is November 8th, and I'll be 41 pretty soon. That's neither here nor there. I don't want to be the ones that, hey, can you do something on the Cash App? No, I'll work. But if you want to, you can do something on the Cash App. That's neither here nor there. I was born in a small town just north of the world-famous Myrtle Beach, a border town by the name of Little River, South Carolina. Let's see, I was born to, my parents were older when they had me. They were older in age. My running joke is I was daddy's last good bullet. Yep. My parents were, awesome. I have a large family, especially on my father's side and my mother's side. The funny thing about it is, when I moved up here to Ohio, I found out that there were some Vereens, and I did this big old deep dive, and it's like, oh my God, the Vereens are not in that little small concentrated area in South Carolina. They're in Florida, Texas, Georgia, Michigan, Connecticut, here in Ohio. So, so that's that. Let's see, what else I got going on here? Yeah, I played varsity high school. I played sports in high school. Played football for 2 years, and a member of the inaugural North Myrtle Beach High School wrestling team. I was one of the first. I didn't go through the whole season because I'm like, I'm tired of this mess. I'm tired of it. But it did teach me to stay low because, if you're a football player out there, wrestle during the off season. It'll help with your center of gravity. You won't be standing up all the time. So, I participated in track and field. I just want to hang out with the big boys. The linemen played, and I was like, well, this is my last year spending time with you guys, so I'll just hang out with you guys and eat cheap pizza and, do big boy stuff. And I was the smallest of the big boys. They were like 240, 250, even 300. I was like 199.999. I could not
break that 200 mark.
Man, listen, like when I wrestled in like 2 different weight classes, and it was just like, you got guys running around the school building with sweats and under it's like with garbage bags. Yeah. And they got the jawbreaker candy spitting in the water glass. I ain't had to worry about all that. I'm eating cheeseburgers. I'm eating fries. I'm drinking, I'm drinking fruit punch. I'm looking at them going, Yeah, so that was fun. But other than that, man, I pretty much like sports, music, and food. Speaking of that, I don't want to say it used to be because whenever I feel the itch, I can make it happen. I also am a rapper. Yes, I also am a rapper. And I've had shows from as far as Plymouth, New Hampshire, to Myrtle Beach, to Atlanta, and all points in between. I picked that up about 2 weeks before I graduated high school. I penned my first rhyme. I got into the studio, and I was hooked. Yep. I was hooked. And so just to say that, I say that the music kind of opened up another door for me to do this whole podcasting thing because I met a dude by the name of, what's his name? DJ Dr. Locke, Jonathan Wedlock, who since passed. And he said, hey, and I lived in Atlanta for a while too, for 2 years. He said, hey man, how you feel about doing internet radio? And I was like, what the hell is that? Internet radio? I didn't understand it. I mean, it's 2013. I mean, I heard a podcast about it. The internet radio thing was kind of different.
New concept at that point in time, yeah.
Yeah, new concept. And so I was a part of a trio by the name of The Crew. He was the DJ. He talked about music. We had Tawan Manning. She did like the gossip and the entertainment news, stuff like that. And I was doing sports. And I enjoyed it. I did sports so much as to where I had a segment on our Tuesday show. And then he gave me access to the account. He said, man, you got so much to talk about. People like it. Do something on Friday. So I had football Friday. So I was doing like 2 little 15-minute segments a week, and it was fun. And then around 2015, I said, I need to go to college because I'm sitting on my brother's couch in Atlanta. And he was like, because I just broke up with a girl. I can't say in a relationship to save my life. No, but I broke up with this girl, and I was kind of not down in the dust, but just really kind of just like trying to figure it out. And in a city like Atlanta, man, let me tell you, my brother's like, what you doing? I was like, I'm watching ESPN. I'm watching NFL Live. He's like, no, what are you doing? I was like, sitting on the couch watching TV, watching NFL Live. He said, well, my brother, he's real energetic. Michael, I love him. He's real energetic. He said, well, you're 35 years old, man. You better get some courses, man. You're not getting no younger. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. And I originally wanted to go to school at the Art Institute of Atlanta. But, I don't want to, sully anybody's name, but the person I was with at the time, what I say, she kind of talked me out of it. Her main concern was, she had kids before me and she wanted to make sure the kids were good. And I just wanted to get some stable income because I just started a serving job at a cheesecake factory, which has been in the news a whole lot lately. Yeah. And I was just really trying to figure things out. And then I was like, well, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. So I don't want to say I kind of got talked over. I kind of want to say I psyched myself out of it. I don't want to put blame on her. She had legitimate concerns, but more me, I kind of just talked myself out of it. And I kind of middled around a little bit, and I'm like, what do I love? I love sports, I love music, I love food. Okay, well, you don't want to be a 40-year-old rapper. No, I don't. You want to be a chef? Well, you did go to school for culinary arts, and you see how that turned out. I didn't understand the whole prerequisite and didn't get in the kitchen. I'm like, look, just throw me in the kitchen because my family knows how to cook. I know how to cook. I can make things happen. So finally, I enrolled at the former Ashford University, an online school. And in 2019, I graduated with my degree in journalism and mass communications with a minor in communication studies. And right along that time, that's when I started the Sports Bros podcast, probably a year after my mother passed away in 2000 and when she passed? She passed away in 2018. I started the podcast March of 2019. And the thing about the podcast, man, it's fun. I love it. 220 as of today, 222 episodes, all original content. You got myself, Edwin Vereen. You got Scott Donnelly, also known as the Money Man, Scotty D, and the Almighty B Live, also known as Brian Livingston. And it's just fun. It's just 3 dudes talking sports. We kind of sort of got a format. we kind of veer off the tracks for a little bit. We have some very funny moments, and it's just wildly entertaining. It's just entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would be a podcaster. I never thought I would get into podcast. I'm kind of like you, but I went to college right out of high school. I was an athlete. I was a swimmer. All this other stuff. I played football in high school, but that neither here nor there. But and I said I got a degree in communications with sports broadcasting and journalism as the track, and a minor in management. Mm-hmm. Well, the comedy thing kind of happened around 2012, 2013-ish. Started doing that. And fast forward to 2020, that wonderful year of 2020.
Oh, boy.
It was the end of February, right around March. I've been talking to this manager of this record label. My dream, I've said this on here before, is to be a full-time professional comedian, stand-up comedian. That's my dream. That's my goal, what I'm working towards. And he was like, hey, man, I saw your stuff. You're funny. We want to sign you. Let's start to get the ball rolling. And I was like, cool. What do I got to do? And he was in Atlanta, oddly enough. You were talking about Atlanta. He was in Atlanta, too, as well. Well, long and short of the story, getting ready to get on a plane, go down to Atlanta. Well, it's March 2020. The world shuts down. And I can't get there. I was like, hey, man, I know you said you want to sign me. It's virtual. It's 2020. We can email me the paperwork. I'll sign, look it over. I'll sign it. I'll email it back to you. No harm, no foul. We can still do this. He goes, well, unfortunately, you don't have as big of an online presence as we thought you had, and we're going to pass. So, in the comedy world, that's a kick in the short hairs. That's putting you right back. That's putting you right back to square one. It's like, that was. Thankfully, I was so close to quitting my day job and being like, that's it. I made it. I'm getting signed by our label. I'm about to go be a comedian. And so, lo and behold, I'm spiteful as all get up. So, looking into podcasting, how to grow my online presence, stuff like that. It's 2020. My job shut down. It wasn't deemed essential at the time. So I was like, all right, well, I got all this time. What can I do? I can sit and write jokes. I got so many jokes. I can't write any more jokes right now without being able to perform them. And so got hired on at this RV dealership. They were essential at the time. And I know I needed some income at the point in time. And I had just been getting ear beaten by customers all day, every day, for 10, 12 hours a day. So on my little half-hour ride home, I don't know why, but I put my phone up on a mount in my truck, and I just started ranting about my day. And then just throwing it up on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram at the time. TikTok really wasn't as big as it was then. And one of my buddies was like, dude, you have got to turn this into a podcast. Like, you have got to turn this into a podcast. I was like, hey, man, he goes, it's funny as hell just to hear you complain and bitch about your day. Like, you got to do it. People will listen to it. And now I really want to message that manager, because not to toot my own horn, but the Ride Home Rants podcast is heard in 43 countries in over 1,100 cities. And it's like, hey, I ain't got an online presence. You didn't want to put the work in at the time.
Exactly. Hey, as we say down south, well, you're doing something now, boy. You're doing something now. You're doing something now. You ain't bullshitting around. You're really doing something. But yeah, man, I get it, man. That's not like, for me, man, I have a very old YouTube channel. And the funny thing about me, here's the thing about me. I'll meet a girl and I'll haul ass so damn quick. I'll meet a girl back. Baby, let's go. Baby, let's go. Because I lived in New Hampshire from 2005 to 2009, so that's how I wound up getting that gig in New Hampshire. And that was right about the time YouTube came out, and everybody told me, "Oh, Eddie, you're funny. You should be a comedian." I mean, it's my sister friends. They thought I was cute, so whatever. They tell you all kind of shit, whatever, and they tell you all kind of stuff. And I kind of did like you. I would just take like things in my everyday life, and I would just go on YouTube and just fire off about it.
Yep.
Fire off about it. I caught a little flack for her family, but I didn't care. I'm like, I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
A hit dog a holler. Don't hit dogs, but a hit dog a holler, and Sparky, you're hollering, you're barking. It's you're there. So it is what it is, and prove me otherwise. But I would never really put it in anybody's face. So people just told me, oh man, you should write jokes and you should do this, you should do that. But I was like in my 20s and had my priorities elsewhere, and I was trying to go back to school or get a job in corrections, and I was craving the whole stability thing.
Right.
But but just led me to the point where back in, I think it was 2010, I wound up moving back home. I tell people about that relationship. The three best, I used to say the two best things, but now I think about it, it's one of my signature stories, if you will, because I don't call myself a comedian. I call myself a storyteller. I'm Uncle Eddie and I'm telling stories. One of my signature moments is a story about Spam and spaghetti. That story, a pair of nice brand name swim trunks, polo to be exact, which I can't fit in now. And at the time, the girl I was dating, she had a child, and I raised her for 4 years. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it hurt me leaving the child more than it did her, because me and her, it was over with. It was over with. So the Spam and spaghetti, it's hella funny. And the first time I publicly told that story, a friend of mine, Sterling Thrill, who's a comedian, he invited me to be a guest on his show. And so he said, man, this is the first time I've had a guest do all three, facets of the show. I had a character by the name of Stan Germany. He was like a 70s lover man and, trying to give good advice on dating. And then that's when I told the Spam and spaghetti story. And then I was the guest musical performer on the show. And then he did an interview with me, and I told the infamous Spam and spaghetti story. It's just, it's one of my classic stories. And everybody like, oh man, you should be a comedian. I tried open mic one time back in 2010. One thing I can say, oh boy, yeah. It is definitely a challenge. Yeah. And as a former high school wrestler, I think you get like 2 minutes a period. I thought the longest 2 minutes of my life was on a wrestling mat, but the longest 5 minutes of my life was on that stage doing an open mic with no material. The first thing I do, I open up on the fat guy with the big green neon shirt on. All right, give it up for Big Heavy over here. Just get out of the way. And then the problem was at that time, I didn't know my audience. Yeah. So I couldn't really spitball the material like I wanted to. But somebody's like, well, and once again, it's like I don't know why the hell people find me funny. I don't get it. I don't know. And some of my old co-workers at my current job, they said, man, you funny. You're a funny dude, man. I'm just me doing what I do. And it's like, man, you should, if you go to the Improv, man, we'll come and see you. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. But now I kind of got a little something in the holster if I have to do that, if I feel the need to do that. So, I mean, it's just, I understand the whole comedic process as a creator, trying to create things. When it hits, and when it's dry, and you can't come up with nothing. Yeah,
it's a process. There's still those people out there that are like, oh, you're a comedian. What, you work like an hour a day? Like, is that all you do? It's like, I wish I only had to work an hour a day. I was like, y'all don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Like, my joke notebook is always within arm's reach of me, because you never know when that spark's going to hit and you're going to think of something funny, and you got to write that stuff down. And it's writing jokes, it's practicing material, whether that be in the mirror by yourself or at these open mics, getting on a stage and not getting paid for it. Just going out to an open mic and just trying to, work your material. And, I tell people, because it seems like you got to experience this a little bit when you went on stage. And I tell every comedian, I've been doing this 11 years, comedy. And I tell every comedian this: it's not if you're going to bomb. It's when you're going to bomb. When you're going to bomb. And you will learn more from a bomb than you will from killing any room. Mm-hmm. And I learned that the hard way, because I didn't have somebody like me telling me this. They're like, dude, you're hysterical. I went on stage the first time at a buddy's open mic, absolutely destroyed the room, caught that comedy itch and have been doing it ever since. But like my first 5 or 6 shows, I was going different cities. I was killing it in different cities. And about that 6th or 7th show, I get up on stage and it's just crickets.
Ooh.
And I had to do a 15-minute set. You think 5 minutes is long when you're bombing? Add 10 more to that.
And it's like you're up there, you're by yourself, the light is on you.
That's it.
You got 1,001 things going through your head. The next thing you know, you start feeling your skin glisten. You look at the different people in the audience. They're looking at you like this. They're on their phone. Somebody's digging in their nose, scratching their ass. It's just a whole lot going on. They're doing everything but laughing at you. And man, that is a humbling feeling. I mean, it's like my buddy's like, hey man, if you like my buddy Sterling has told me, he says, if you, go up there, you're not gonna kill. And I like at 40 years old, I understand that first at bat, you're not gonna hit it out the park. You're gonna strike out. You're gonna hit singles.
9 times out of 10, that's the truth. I don't know what was on me that first time I went on stage, but that's a rarity in this game.
Yeah, you're gonna hit singles. Okay, then how can I turn this single into a double to a triple, so forth and so such? How can I turn this into an inside the park home run? Now I want to knock this ball clean out the park.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it takes time, man. I tell people, like, man, you ever thought about being a comedian? I'm like, look, I'm busy enough as it is between working part-time at a radio station, doing this podcast stuff, which I'm still trying to, I'm in year number 4, and I'm really trying to, dig my heels into it because we have great content. It's just us taking that next step and leveling up.
Right.
I ain't got the damn time for it. I have the damn time for it. Then another thing that just crossed my mind, normally when, like you said something about not getting paid, like having loved ones is great, but some advice I could recommend to people. Number one, don't be out here like Jada Pinkett Smith and telling all your damn business. Please don't do that. Sometimes you got to keep some of this shit to yourself.
Yep.
You got to keep it to yourself. And if you're conversing with people, converse with people in your industry. Converse with people that are like-minded. Somebody might work in a corporate setting. You tell them what you got going on, and they're trying to break it down to you, and it's like, well, you don't get it. I'm trying to help you out, but I don't think you don't get it. It's just like I currently work at WOBL, WDLW Radio in Oberlin, Ohio. I've been there for a handful of years. What's my title? God, I don't know. I'm a jack of all trades. If you go to our social media profiles, all on Facebook and Twitter, I made the game of the week GIFs. Like, you got Black River versus Clearview. And, I added another element because I saw that there was a need for that. Then we also do something called the Golden Helmet Award, where we nominate seniors throughout the year. And at the end of the season, they win the Golden Helmet Award, which is the top football player in all of Lorain County. So between doing that, myself and Edwin Vereen and I, who also work at WOBL, WDLW, we have our own thing called I-90 Sports, where we spotlight the athletes in Lorain County, and the kids love it. The kids love it. The kids are like, we ain't gonna come to the games. We ain't gonna come to the games. I'm like, look, it's only 2 people. 50, 11 million of y'all. But we appreciate the support. So, we also do the same thing for that as far as making like I-90 Sports Player of the Week Award. We do that. And then like basketball season, like we really made an impact within the communities. Like, let's see the parents now. Hey, you coming back? You coming back? I said, the station has something planned for me. I'm going to come back. It's just like when you strike out to do something, a lot of people are going to have a lot to say.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, you have to be mindful of who's telling you this stuff. Okay, this person knows me, but do they know the industry? Do they understand? Do they know what's going on? And a lot of times, like you said, when you don't get paid, you getting paid by experience. You're paying dues. And so people think like, okay, well, after the first year, you should get paid. Well, a lot of times that don't happen.
Nah.
The first year is the introductory, see if you're going to sink or swim. like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'll be real transparent, and I don't care who hears this or not. But I've literally given up Friday nights at my job where I make money to do things for I-90 Sports, like brand building, like do things for I-90 Sports. And when I record my podcast, I record it on one of my off days when I'm not at the station, either cutting commercials or helping run the audio board during podcasts, stuff like that. So I do a lot of stuff, and I sacrifice a lot. And I tell myself, the worst thing you can do is quit.
Yep.
Another thing you can do is let a bunch of voices. And I'm gonna tell you a little quick story. Had a little rough weekend this weekend. I ain't gonna lie to you. My weekend was kind of rough between the regular job and life altogether.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? I took my ass to the park. It was a cold and dreary day. I took my ass to the park. I sat down. I found a place by myself, and I just had a moment to sit there and just clear my mind.
Yep. You need those meditation times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't realize it. When you're going 100 miles an hour all day, every day, like, you need those times to just sit and decompress. I mean, mine's stupid. I mean, I might sit on the couch, throw on Sports Center or something. My wife's sitting there next to me. My son's doing God knows what as a 14-year-old. He's out doing whatever he's doing. But at the beginning of me and my wife's relationship, 8 years ago, she would look over on the couch and she'd be like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She was just like, "You haven't said anything for like 2 hours." I was just like, got nothing to say. I'm just kind of decompressing from my day and my week, just kind of deleting all the stuff in my head that I don't need in there anymore, get that out of there, make more room to remember stuff. And, I'm just decompressing. And now it's to the point now, there's been times, 8 years later, wife and I sit on the couch just watching TV, and then we'll look over at each other and realize it's been like 4 or 5 hours. We haven't said a word to each other, and we're just happy in that moment because she realized that I'm just sitting there meditating to myself, just relaxing and just clearing my head. And now she does that too. And people are like, "Man, y'all sit there that long and you don't talk?" We don't need to talk. I talk for a living. I don't need to talk all the time.
Exactly. Sometimes you just want to shut the hell up and just be, just exist. And so, like, I just took today, and because matter of fact, as soon as we finish this, I'm about to go to a spot up the street, have a beer, get some tacos, and treat myself. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just, and also I am a big mental health advocate because when my mom passed away in 2018 around Christmas time, it turned my world upside down.
Yeah.
Because it made me realize, okay, you're getting older, you're not getting any younger. So when you start getting in your late 30s, early 40s, things like this will happen.
Yep.
Before that, my father passed away back in 1995 when I was 12. So I really didn't address that. I was just, hey, I just want to go to school. I'm sad my daddy's gone. I just want to go to school. And then between that, good God, Mike, don't start crying, but I've lost, let's just say this, between 1995 to 2019, I've lost 3 brothers, both grandparents, and both parents.
Damn.
And I never really had a chance to heal or address it, but like 2019, like my shit just hit the fan. Like, I wasn't worried about the relationship I was at the time. I didn't give a damn about anybody or anything. And me and my brother was butting heads for reasons I won't disclose. I just wanted my brother to do better. And he was doing things that was detrimental to that affected me in a way, but it affected him the most. And so it was, and then like it affected my performance on the job. And then my boss was like, "You look distracted, dumbass. My brother just died. Like, are you dead? What's wrong with you?" I told my boss that I didn't care. Like,
right.
Bro, I'm here because I got bills. And I need the money. So that's why I'm here. So I remember sitting on the couch. It was January 31st, 2019, Mike. I looked in the mirror. December, New Year's Eve, 2019. I looked in the mirror. I saw me, but I didn't see me. I didn't realize who the hell I was looking at in the mirror. And ever since January 2020, I've made a commitment to to address my mental health. And what I've learned through therapy, man, it's people crap on it. I don't know why, because I think the main ones that crap on it, they may need themselves. But that's for them. And whenever they're ready, for me, it just gives me a chance to talk to someone that doesn't know me. I can be honest and transparent with them. I can tell them everything that's going on in my life. Prime example, the mess I had this week at work, this past weekend at my other 9 to 5, not the station, because I call the station a fun job, but I call the other serving job, the job that pays the bills. And had a rough weekend, full transparency, I ain't gonna lie to you. And so I just talked to my therapist about it, and I felt so much better. So I'm a big mental health advocate, and I do realize that October is, mental health awareness month, and you have to, in order for me to have the job, the fun job, the podcast, the I-90 sports, and just waking up every morning, I have to have a clear mind. I can't have a lot of stuff on my mind. Therefore, when my mind is loaded and distracted, I can't be the best version of Eddie that I can be. And there's no fun in that. There's no fun in that whatsoever. Like I tell people, I'm like, well, I'm big on mental health, man. I believe if you don't have your mental health, you don't have nothing. You can have all the big muscles in the world, but if this thing up here that includes your medulla oblongata, if it ain't right, then you ain't gonna be right. Straight up.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a big advocate for mental health and everything like that. I've had a lot of mental health professionals on the podcast here, talking to them. And, I've taken little tidbits, from them, just from our talks with them about what they do. And you integrate that into a daily routine. But, people crap on therapy. I don't know why. I personally have never done it, but I'm not opposed to going if I know I need it. Right now, my therapy, believe it or not, is getting on stage.
That works for you.
I talk about true stuff. People ask me, 11 years of comedy, is everything you say on stage true? And to this point, yes. It's all true stories that have happened. I've found comedic spins on everything, but I've learned from being a comedian, you have to find the funny in every situation. I'll give you a quick little story. I haven't gotten to tell this one on stage yet. I'm still kind of working out the kinks, but I'll tell it to you here.
Okay.
So last year,
this is a Mike Bono exclusive.
Last year, my mom's real dad passed away. And, he wasn't in my life for the first 25 years of my life. So I never really called him Grandpa, but he was. And it hit hard because he'd been around trying to change from when he left and blah, blah, blah. Well, we get to the funeral early, and, it's, just me, my mom, my dad, and my grandparents on my dad's side that are there at the funeral home at this point in time. My wife and my son were with me, too, as well. And my grandpa on my dad's side absolutely loves my wife. Like, he absolutely loves her, and he loves to talk to her. Problem is, he can't hear real well, and he has a hearing aid that he doesn't like to turn up all the time.
Boy, here we go.
I come from a full-blooded Italian family. We're very loud individuals as it is. Couple that with not knowing how loud you're actually talking.
Ooh.
He screams everything. So we're in the middle of the funeral parlor. My mom's real dad can't be more than 20 feet away from us in the casket. My grandfather leans over to my wife as if he's going to whisper, but doesn't whisper. He goes, I don't know how many people are going to show up to this. He was kind of an asshole and nobody liked him. And, we could have been... This is a sad day. We're at a funeral.
I've been to plenty. I know. Trust me.
Yeah.
I know. I get it.
There's a dead person at the front of the room.
A whole dead-ass body.
And then my dad obviously hears this and just turns and he goes, "Oh, Jesus Christ, Dad, what are you talking?" And like now those two are arguing in the middle of the funeral parlor, and that's just Then we all kind of stopped, looked at each other, and just started hysterically laughing. That became the butt of the. We told everybody that came in that story when they came in, and it lightened the mood in a very sad day. And we could have been distraught and crying and upset, in our feelings, but we found what was funny about it, and it got us through that day. And it gets me through. It's only been a year. It's a sad to even think about. But that story from that funeral gets me through it. That, and at the time, my 3-year-old niece coming running up to me, and I had a bigger beard at the time, and she loved to come in and grab it because she doesn't see me because I don't live by him that much, and she's just yanking on it, and my wife telling her, "Pull harder, pull harder, pull harder," and it's just. And we find funnies in any situation, and that's what's helped me in my mental health. So, since we were talking about it and advocating about it, if anybody's out there, find the funny in any situation, and I promise you, your mental health will be a lot better.
I think that's what it is. Matter of fact, the word we're looking for is called levity.
Yep.
You find the levity. And matter of fact, if I'm pointing, this is how I know my image is backwards. This guy, my co-host here, Scott Dolly, also known as the Money Man, Scotty D, I learned through him about finding levity in everything. That you got to find it. You got to find it. And I was like, damn, I never thought about it like that. I've never really thought about that. And it was just like another quick story here. It was a month after my mom died? It was February 2019. I thought my mom was going to hang on through 2018 to see me through 2018 to 2019 to see me graduate. But she didn't. I was laying on the floor, and Mike, I lay there for like a solid hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell am I going to do between, like, what am I going to do? Like, what the fuck am I going, what you going to do? Like, you just going to, part of me just wanted to fold up shop and just quit. So I'm just like laying there on the floor, just like laying there, like, and now I look back, I'm like, damn, I'm looking like a damn murder scene. The only thing you gotta do is outline me in chalk. I'm just laying on the floor, right? And so I'm just laying on the floor, just having a conversation with myself. I'm like, man, you know what, man? I was like, I don't know if I can go any further. But then I heard my mom's voice. My mom was a Southern woman, loved the Lord, 5'2". She was a spitfire. She didn't play any games. I could hear her go, "You better get your ass up and finish that work." Yep, I got you. I got you. Because my mama said, "You been," because I could hear her. I could, like, as I'm getting up, get myself together, might get my brains together. Like, she gave me like a monologue / speech. It was like everything. The first 30 plus years of my life, it all came back to me again for like an hour straight. And as I'm typing the paper, I would hear different jewels that she would give me. Make sure you got life insurance. Make sure you got this. Make sure you got that. You come a long way, son. You've never given me any trouble. You've never been in jail. Like, my mom thought highly of me. I was the baby. My mom thought highly of me, and my sister called me spoiled. I was like, no, sis, I'm just loved, and your ass is old. No, I didn't tell her that, but it's just, yeah, it's just, it's just like realizing that, having that funny, like me and my mom, we had a lot of funny moments. And then while I'm typing my paper, wiping tears away, I'm thinking about those funny moments. Like the time she picked me and my friend Robbie up at football practice in high school, and they had the bump. What do you call those parking lot things? The bumps, the stops, or whatever you call them. Just so you don't.
I've been wondering that for 34 years of my life too. I have no idea what those things are called, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, we gonna call it in the parking lot whatsoevers, right? So you got the whatsoevers across the whole damn parking lot, right? And so, we're getting ready to leave, and my mom was putting. I noticed that, 'cause she had one of them cars where you do the shift from the side, whatever, right? She had an Oldsmobile, do the shift from the side. I knew that going down, you're going backwards. She went up. I said, "Mama, you can't." And I was like, "The hell just happened?" So I just remember that funny moment, man. And then, yeah, man, I love my mom, man. I missed her. I miss her. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought the world of her, man. She couldn't do no wrong, and old folks, they have their ways. But I didn't want to say I gave my mom a pass. I just knew that, hey, mom, it is what it is. People gonna be people, but I love you. I love you, and yeah, man, my mama, that was she was one of my biggest supporters. I will say that, but she wasn't around for the podcast, and she was around for when I did the music, and she supported me throughout school. And, I remember sitting there in I forgot the name of that arena that we graduated in San Diego, California. It was home of the San Diego State Aztecs. I'm kind of just looking around. It's like I felt her presence, man, like all throughout that building. I'm like, yeah, mama, I did it. My people's up there, hey, y'all, I see y'all. But I'm over here looking around, and okay, there's Kawhi Leonard's jersey, and And yeah, mama, I did it. It's just seeing things, just seeing certain signs, and just like, even though I'm not here with you, son, I'm here with you inside. That's a conversation me and my therapist had today, because I kind of had a moment like, I wish I had some parental advice. And my therapist said, well, just remember what your mother instilled in you. You have your parental advice, because I remember having a dream a while back, and it was very vivid, and it involved my mom. And what it was just, I look back at it now, I was like, okay, there's something that was on my mind for quite some time, and I was looking for the answers. And the good Lord in the universe said, okay, I'm going to put you in a situation with your mama, and your mama going to tell you what you need to do. And it hit me about 3 days ago. I was like, damn, there it is right there. There it is right there. Don't you start crying on me, Mike. Don't start crying on me.
I'm good, bro.
Yeah, man.
I got one more question for you, and then I got to get into this last segment here, because we are running down near the end of the episode here.
I talked you to death. I'm a podcaster.
So no, you're good, man. You're good, man. You're on the Ride Home Rants podcast. I mean, I expect us to go off the rails a little bit, on this show. But you were brought to us by, good friend of the show. He's been on the show a lot, Tony Bogan. How do you know Tony?
All right, so before I started at WOBL WDLW Radio, I was a writer for Keon Sports Media Group with Vince McKee, and I met Tony through Keon Sports, and me and Tony still kept in contact. Now, I was only Keon Sports from June 2021 till about, I think, I want to say early 2022. Yeah, to sometime early 2022. I was in between there. And then, I got a chance to work at the radio station. Like, yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. So I've known Tony for that long, and Tony's a great dude. Yeah. He's had me on his podcast multiple times, and Tony's a great guy. Like, we're doing the similar things. Like, what I'm doing in Lorain County is the same thing he's doing over in Cuyahoga County, which is the county close to Cleveland and everything. And so it's just like, we talk a lot. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. He's a New Orleans Saints fan. And, we're division rivals. But Tony's a good dude. He means well. He's a great guy. That he is.
And you're talking to a Buccaneers fan.
That's the end of this. No, I'm joking, Mike. I'm playing.
It's just...
I'm so joking, Mike.
I know, bro.
You know what? I have respect for Buccaneers fans, because when you go to the Super Bowl, you win it. Now, if you're a Falcons fan, you give up a 28-3 lead, and you'll never see the Super Bowl again. So I can respect the Saints fan, because you went to the Super Bowl, you beat a good team, you sealed the damn deal. You went to Tampa Bay, you went to the Super Bowl twice. Well, actually, what, three? How many times did like 3 times? Twice. Yeah, twice. Yeah, you went to the Super Bowl twice, you're 2-0 on the Super Bowl. And you beat good teams. Well, that one team you beat, what was it, the Raiders? Oh yeah, y'all just beat the brakes off them. They just tumble. And so, like, no, I respect teams that can seal the deal, but the fail cons, they can go pound sand now, then, and forever. I don't want to hear nothing about the Atlanta Falcons fans because before we had this video, this interview, this podcast interview, they showed like the best of Tom Brady compilation, and they showed his immaculate comeback for that time they won the Super Bowl in Atlanta. And I'm not gonna lie to you, what the hell do I look like as a Panthers fan, jumping up and down, rooting for the Patriots? Why? Because of the Atlanta fail cons. That's why. The fail cons. Yeah. Whenever they try to hold us, well, y'all lost 2 Super Bowls. At least Tom Brady didn't walk us down when we had the lead. Adam Vinatieri beat us, and then we got overwhelmed by Denver. Let's just get that out of the way. That's what happened. So yeah. So yeah. But other than that, man, Tony's a good dude, man. I really respect him. I really like what he does, man, and he's got a bright future, man.
Yeah, I've had him on here a lot on the show. I've been on his show. Love Tony to death. He's a good dude. So I always like to know when other guests of my show send me guests to be on the show. I always like to know the connection. That's just me personally, and yeah, that's just me. But like I said, Edwin, we are running down near the end of this episode here. I gotta get this segment in because if not, the manager of this podcast, Johnny Fitty Falcone, will not let me hear the end of it. And that is Lord. The Fast Fitty Five. Five random questions from the wonderful manager of the podcast, Johnny Fitty Falcone. And Edwin, I gotta tell you, my man, he sent these to me today. So these are kind of rapid fire. You can elaborate if you need to. And these have nothing to do with what we've been talking about for the past 35, 40 minutes here.
Oh, boy, here we go. Let's get it.
When I say they're random, they are random. So if you are ready, we will go ahead and get rolling.
I've been ready like yesterday. Let's go.
All right. So question number 1. Would you rather own a fast car or a fast boat?
Give me a fast water. Give me a fast boat. Fast car. I don't mess that water too much. It's just, I can't. For me, it's a control thing. Okay. So give me the fast car.
Okay. All right. Would you rather have a camel or a snake as a pet?
Give me the camel. The only thing a snake can do for me is be a wallet or a belt or a pair of boots.
Yep. There's two kinds of snakes that I'm afraid of, and that's live ones and dead ones. So yes,
yeah, exactly.
So I don't care what it is. I don't like it.
Kill it! It's dead. Kill it again.
Question number 3. Oh, this is such a fitty. I just read this again. This is such a fitty question. All right, so if you locked Batman, the Christian Bale version, Michael Myers, Hulk Hogan, and John Wick in a room, who walks out as the winner?
I think John Wick, man, because John Wick can do some things with a pencil. Yeah, John Wick can make some things happen, man. John Wick, John Wick, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but that's such a fitty question.
Because hold on, blow up quick. Batman got a utility belt, and Michael Myers is just so.
Okay. Question number 4. Which would be more bizarre to see? A muck which is a half man, half duck, or Santa Claus flying a sleigh in the sky? That was a tough one to get through. I'm gonna read that again so I can get you the full question because this one was tough.
I heard you. You said a muck, which is a man and a duck, or seeing Santa Claus fly the sleigh in the sky, right?
Yeah. Which would be more bizarre to see?
Well, what would really be bizarre is seeing Santa Claus do that during the off season. But no, what really would be bizarre is a muck, is a man that thinks he's a duck. Because I'm going the other way. I'm not asking questions. I'm running.
He's good on land and water. You can't get away from him, you know. And he can fly. And he can fly too, you know.
Yeah, and he can fly like a quake. Start quacking it. Get the hell away from me. Where's my brother with his rifle? Get him.
Question number 5 and the final question here. Which is the better veggie, asparagus or broccoli?
Oh man, and I like both of them too. I like broccoli. The reason being, when it comes to asparagus, it has a chance when you cook it too soft to become stringy, and it is a choking hazard to people 35 and over, including this guy. So, soft cooked broccoli, man. Soft cooked broccoli with a little bit of cheese and butter does it.
All right, that was the Fast 55, and I gotta say, he's been taking it easy on people. Those were some good questions from my man. Like he's been kind of slacking on his randomness game. That was by far the most random ones we've had in a long time. In 3 years of running this segment, those ones were tough. But Edwin, like I said, we are running down near the end of the episode here. I give every guest this opportunity at the end of the show. I'm going to give you about a minute. If there's anything you want to get out there, whether it's your podcast, radio show, anything like that, or even if it's just a good message, I'm going to give you about a minute, man, and the floor is yours.
All right, so here we go. My name is Edwin Vereen, and I'm a jack of all trades, a.k.a. Johnny Do Everything and Then Some. The Sports Bros Podcast, it's available every Wednesday on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever podcasts are available. My other fun job, you can catch me at WOBL, WDLW Sports. I run the live stream for high school football, and I think I'll be running a live stream for high school basketball too, so stay tuned like that. I-90 Sports, you can check us out on Twitter and Instagram. Let's see. If you want me to cut you a commercial, I can cut you a commercial for the right price. I'm a voice. I like to do voiceovers and stuff like that, and I'm trying to do that. But if you want me to edit your podcast, I'm not the best in the world, but I figure after 4 years doing a podcast, something must be doing right. So if you ever want to get in contact with me, check me out at The Real Eddie Cool on Twitter, also known as X, and you spell that capital T, lowercase h, lowercase e. Real, capital R, lowercase EAL, Eddie, capital EDDY, and Cool, capital KOOL. KOOL, that's The Real Eddie Cool on Twitter. That was a lot, but I got it in.
You got it in, man. Hey, check him out on all of those. I will put all of the links for all of what Edwin here has got going on in the description of this episode, so be sure to go and check him out. And also, I do got to get this last sponsorship read in before we end this show, and that is for my own personal coffee brand, Bono's Brew. You can check it out. It is made and roasted right here in the United States, in Illinois and California. I have all different types of flavors. We're in the fall season. Yes, for all my basic people out there, I have pumpkin spice as well. I have everything from Cowboy Brew, which will put hair on your chest for sure. If you need a wake-up call, Cowboy's Brew from Bono's Brew is where it's at. All different types of flavors, not overpowering like you're going to get at the Bucks and everything like that, or Dunkin'. But it will save you some money, too, as well, brewing your own coffee at home. I have learned this since starting this company in Bono's Brew. Use the promo code RIDEHOMERANTS, and I will give you 5% off of your first purchase. That is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. I want to thank Edwin Vereen for joining. This was a lot of fun to get to sit and talk with you, man. A lot of fun to learn about you. As always, if you enjoyed the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell them anyways. They might like it just because you didn't. That's going to do it for me, and I will see y'all next week. The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by W Energy. Energy drinks made for gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. For gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. Go to the link in the description where you can find the best energy drinks out there. Less caffeine than a cup of coffee. Also, no jitters and no crash afterwards. Use the promo code Mike Bono and get yourself 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my favorite sponsor of the show, and that is Shankit Golf. Golf apparel made for the everyday golfer. We might not go out and shoot a 6 under par. We're probably going to shoot a 6 over par. But this is going to give us the gear that's going to help us rock it on and off of the course. Go to the link in the bio, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get yourself 10% off there as well.